Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. There is, in statistics, a thing known as cohort differential. It sounds very technical. What it means, though, is within different groups of those surveyed, you can get wildly different responses depending on the group in question and what that group are made of. Now, there's been a survey about housing in Britain, and it isn't good for Labour, and it isn't good for Angela Rayner in particular, because it's looking at whether the government can meet its targets of building 300,000 houses a year. Now, considering the government have been there for, three and a half weeks now, I think it's clear to see that building at a rate of around 6,000 houses a week isn't going to happen because 3 weeks in, they haven't built a single house. They're nearly 20,000 houses behind schedule already. It's not good, is it? So, people were asked, will they meet their target? And the answer was 57% of people said, no, not going to meet their target. 57%. However, that's the whole lot of people. In the over 55s, which is my age and most of you, that figure is 72%. Nearly 3/4 of people say they're not going to meet their target. And that's because we are old. And I don't mean it as any way of sort of an insult to the young. It's just we've been round long enough to know how long these things take and to know how inefficient governments are. And we were there, of course, during the last time the Labour government were in power and making a complete pig's ear of it. Why should this time be any different? And so this 1.5 million houses by 2029, well, we know full up it ain't going to happen. They haven't got the planning permissions. They haven't got the tradesmen. They haven't got the supply lines. They haven't got the materials. They haven't got the time. And even if they did build 300,000 houses a year, which is quite impossible, who's going to have them? Well, they're all going to go to immigrants. British people aren't going to benefit one iota. All this money spent, and not a single Brit will get those houses. Anyway, Andy Sims from My Builder said the government must do all it can to encourage young people into trades to address massive skill shortages. Yes, rather than training up our own people, which was always the way through apprenticeships and things, the governments for years have just said, why don't we just get immigrants to come and do it? And that's all very fine and pleasant. But it just means the immigrants coming in, reducing the wages because they'll work for less, and increasing unemployment and lack of training for our own people. How about, say, no more immigrants and we train up our young people who would otherwise be unemployed and unemployable and get them earning good money on building sites for whatever their skills are, because even ground workers earn a fair wage, never mind, any of the technical skills. And that puts a load of money into the economy generally and will raise the tax base. Or is it just me? Common sense. No, it's not just me. It's you as well. You know it. I think we need to disavow this push for university places. Make university places back what they used to be for those who have earned the place to be there, the elite, the best. And create trade skills and push tradesmen. Believe it or not, I mean, despite 35 years as an accountant in the construction industry, many moons ago, I actually got a City and Guilds in electrical engineering. I was a Sparky. Yep. And that's when I decided that I didn't like to be Sparkying, because it's okay if it's nice and dry and it's a pleasant day in spring. But when there's 3 foot of snow on the ground, it's -5 and you're freezing your balls off, I went, nah, don't want this. I want a place where I can sit in an office with a nice warm cup of tea. Accountancy. And that's what I did for the next 35 years. But I've been involved in the construction industry at every stage. I know whereof I speak. But apparently this 1.5 million new homes, this target that the Labour have set themselves randomly, just plucked a number out of the air, because they said we can build 300,000 homes a year. And it's never been done. It's never been done. They've never built 300,000 homes in a year. Even post-war, when they had prefabs, they couldn't build 300,000 homes a year because they didn't have the people. Now, to be fair, after the war, the reason they didn't have the people is, well, a lot of them, of course, were dead. But it took a good 10 years to train up to the point until the 50s when they actually did start, the mid-50s. It's when you had the big boom of the mid-50s, the white heat of technology, you've never had it better and all that. And that's what we need to do. We need a long-term plan. We need to take people today around 13, 14 years of age and into their minds take out any thoughts of university. Because if you go to university, sure, you leave and look at you with your degree in media studies or whatever and your £30,000 worth of debt, and you go into a job market where your skills aren't wanted, needed or appreciated. Or you go and work for 3 years, you get paid a pittance as an apprentice rate, but at the end of it, you're coming out fully traded, fully skilled, and walking straight into a very, very highly paid job that will do you for the next 30 years, thank you very much, and which you can end up earning millions if you put your mind to it. You know, this is the whole point. These people earn money because they have tradable skills. This is how we need to be approaching the 13 and 14-year-olds today and say to them, look, we do it now. We get this in and we'll give you the basic skills you're going to need at school. But at 15, 16, instead of putting you through the academic qualifications beyond for what you're going to need, we'll put you through the trade training and we'll give you a grounding, a basis in little things, carpentry, basic bricklaying, basic sparking. Give you that taste at a school level, then push you out of the door at, say, 16 or 17, straight into a guaranteed 3-year apprenticeship. And actually have technical colleges again. All those tech colleges that converted themselves into universities, convert them back, make them trade colleges again. Pump out the tradesmen that we're going to need. And in 10 years' time, you might, just, if you're lucky, build 300,000 houses a year. But without those trade colleges, well, it just ain't never going to happen, is it? Just never, ever going to happen. That's the trade shortage. But it's a 10-year fix. Anyway, leave that there. Let me know what you think. Should we have the return to trade colleges and technical colleges? Should we be pushing children from the sort of 12, 13, 14-year age into the trades? And should we disavow ourselves of everyone's got to have a degree and move forward as a nation and then finally have the ability to build these houses? Who knows? Anyway, enough of that. Thanks very much. Take care. Goodbye.